again. I may not win everything, but I would never fail in anything.
And you feel like that was your greatest failure in your career?
No, that was my greatest achievement.
The greatest achievement. If you're really good, your greatest failure is the beginning of the greatest thing. Like when you fail miserably, that's actually the beginning of something great. Mm-hmm. Your greatest failure is, so you felt like that was the beginning of something great.
That was my greatest achievement.
To overcome it. Mm-hmm. That's fucking...
That's crazy.
That's incredible. That might be another part. Yo, Drake, on the new album, by the way, we all fucking love it. My dad's favorite song, March 14th.
Wow.
You haven't met my dad yet, but my dad is a lot like Dennis G.
Okay.
Born with a hole in his heart, never worked a job in his life, but a fucking hustler, figure shit out. So, like, I learned a lot from my father. I think Bron did too. Did you learn a lot from Dennis, right or wrong?
Oh, of course. I mean, you know, he's taught me a lot, like you said, right or wrong. I learned a lot about being a man from him, and I learned a lot about the man that I want to be through him.
Of course.
You know, so.
And Bron, you talked about that, like your dad not being around made you stronger. Like, I gotta be a father.
You know, the crazy thing is because, you know, my whole life I grew up resenting my father. Everything was like, fuck Pops. You know, my mom. He left me. Why would he do that to my mom? My mom's 16 years old. She's a sophomore in high school when she had me. And I was like, if I ever met him, we going to blows right off top. And as I got older and as I became more of an adult, you know, I started to realize and started to think to myself, like, damn, what was he going through? I don't know what he was going through at the time.
Because you started going through shit as an adult?
Yeah, I started going through shit as an adult. Like, damn, was it things that he couldn't control? And then I started thinking, like, when I had my family and I was raising my kids the way I raised my kids, I was like, he's the reason why I am the father who I am today, because I always wanted to be there. I always wanted to set an example and have the father figure in their lives, so they never had that resentment.
I was really hard on my parents for giving me sort of a childhood that I had to wrap my mind around, you know, as I grew. I, you know, multiple times sort of suggested that they could have done a better job of whatever it was. Yeah, co-parenting, sticking together, you know, not being so divided. And of course, you know, as life takes shape and teaches you your own lessons, I end up in this situation where I don't have the fairy tale, like, oh, Drake started a family with Rihanna and like this is like so perfect, or like, you know, Drake, it's like it looks so good on paper.
I wanted that too.
Well, I mean,
and I didn't get it too.
By the way, I wanted that too at one time. You know,
he got it. When I had a kid, that was one of the things I was worried about telling my mom. Was that a hard thing to tell your parents? Were you like a little embarrassed? Because I'll be honest with you, when I did it with my mom, I was a little, because I didn't want that for me.
I think I was more scared to tell my mom because my mom has had real belief and real relationships with women in my life, like over the course of my years, that I'm sure she would expect or be elated if I were to have gotten one of those women pregnant.
One of what she knew.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it was tough for me to tell her that it's somebody that she's never met. I am a single father learning to communicate with a woman who, you know, we've had our moments, right? I mean, and I do want to be able to explain to my son what happened. But I don't have any desire for him to like not love his mother, or I don't want I don't ever want the world to be angry at his mother. Like, we have found ourselves in a situation and we are both equally responsible. And now, like, I'm just really excited to be a great father. I have a son. He's a beautiful boy. I gotta show you guys.
You haven't showed us yet, but by the way, the other day with you, I was gonna ask you, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yo,
right?
Yeah, crazy blue eyes.
Yeah, crazy blue eyes, baby blue eyes. You know, he's already in the pool, like shooting a basketball. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, he's gonna get to a certain age. I'm gonna bring him right to Bron's house. I'm gonna be like, yo, summer camp at Bronny's house.
That's fine.
See you later.
I got him for sure.
But no, I'm just excited to again, you know, all the things that I've learned from and through my father, and the incredible things that I've learned from my mother about patience, about love, unconditional love. No matter what happens, I have unconditional love for the mother of my child because I want him to love his mother, and I have to project that energy.
Of course.
Because it's a blessing. I mean,
yeah,
no
but I didn't come from that.
Right.
I came from my mother being like, nah, your dad is this. And you know, but you know, one thing my dad would never speak ill of my mother, ever. And my mother is the nicest, kindest, sweetest woman, but she's a woman scorned and a woman who, you know, is exhausted.
Yeah.
I think I asked my mom one time. I think I asked my mom one time, Mom, where's Dad? Or
when you were a kid or as
when
an
I
adult?
was a kid.
Have you guys spoken about it as adults?
No. She shut that shit down early.
If you even go
Who's
for
Dad?
it.
Where's Dad?
It's me, nigga.
Nigga, don't worry about it. I got
It's me and you.
It's me and you.
But let me ask you,
We're gonna
Drake.
figure this out.
Bron, he said his biggest challenge was 2011 with the finals. What's been your biggest challenge? Obviously this summer, Kanye tweeted he was in the studio with you. He's cool with Pusha. Like, what was did you take that as a big challenge?
It was, your challenge is a good word for it, I guess. I mean, I ended up linking with Ye, and he, you know, sold me on this whole, speech of like, you know, I'm in a great place. I'm making money and I'm a father and I want to, you know, be Quincy Jones and help you. But in order to do that, you've got to be transparent with me and you've got to play me your music and you've got to tell me when you're dropping. And I know you don't like to do things like that. And so, you know, I was in the studio. I guess, you know, we all kind of felt a genuine vibe from it. So I played him my music and I told him when I was dropping.
How much of Scorpion did you have done by then?
Maybe like 60% or something.
Got it.
And then from there it was all good, you know. He played me like this.
He played you a beat, right?
He played me Lift Yourself, and he was like, yo, you can have this if you want. And I was hype. I started writing to it, and then he was like, yo, you got to come to Wyoming. So Wyoming happened, and 40 went to Wyoming early. And he was like, man, I'm here a day early, man. Something's off.
He's like, felt it? 40 said that.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's working on an album, man. And I was like, for real?
Because he hadn't announced it yet.
He just told me he wanted to work on, like, he just told me he wanted to give me beats, and he said he wasn't dropping till like October, November, or something like that. And I'm like, it's all good. Let's just go and let's see what it's about. So I went and, you know, ended up pretty much spending majority of my time working on his music, like just trying to like cook up ideas for him, you know.
Writing raps for him, in other words, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. Just trying to lend a helping hand, you know, cook up. Listen, I don't knock anybody. Music is a creative experience that should be shared. But anyway, I was out there and I spent all my time pretty much working on his stuff. And again, I left Wyoming and I was like, okay, well, we left with Lift Yourself and like a pat on the back, you know. So it was like, all right,
it's all good.
Well, I guess, yeah, sure. I'll try and make the most of this, and hopefully he sends some other things through. By the way, I'm in Wyoming. I play him March 14th. I send him a picture of my son.
Oh my God!
I tell him I'm having trouble with my son's mother. We had a conversation. I shared my. So I wake up. And all these dates are out one by one, all around June 15th, by the way. One's May 31st, one's June, whatever.
First, second, June, this, June.
Then the next 2 days, whatever, I wake up now to this text from him, passive, like, sends me something I did. Yo, I love you, brother. Lift Yourself comes out with him just talking nonsense. I'm like, oh.
Scoobity poop that round, yeah.
Oh, this guy's trolling. This guy's trolling me. Yeah, this was like a manipulative, like, I want to break you thing. So I said, all right, I'm going to go back to distancing myself again. I know what this is. And then the first album drops. And of course, there's this song Towards Me you produced that's talking about writing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm writing for you.
I was just there with you as friends, helping you, and now you're dissing me. So I'm like, man, this is dark.
This is evil shit.
This is dark. It made me realize, and actually I text Bron after.
You guys spoke about that.
Well, it took me 4 days to really register what had happened. And I text Braun, I said, I hope I don't let you down with my decision. And that was something I was really concerned about.
With your decision to do what, Drake?
To not do anything.
To not respond.
That's what you were worried about when you called me, like, I'm not responding to that song. Is you were just like, I don't know how people feel about that.
Well, I was more concerned about, like, you know, the people whose opinions I respect and the people who we thrive off competitive nature.
Of course.
But there was, you know, people love to say, like, rap purists and people who just love confrontation. They love to say, hey, man, there's no rules in this shit, but there are fucking rules in this shit.
Of course.
And I'm going to tell you something. It's like, I knew something was going to come up about my kid. They had to add, like, the deadbeat thing to make it more appealing, which is fine. I understand that. And even that, I was like, okay. The mom and dad thing, whatever. You don't even know my family. Yeah. It's like but I'm going to tell you, wishing death on my friend that has MS. I study rap battles for a living. Now, when you mention defenseless people who are sick in the hospital that passed away, that really sent me to a place where, you know, I just believed then and believe now that there's just a price that you have to pay for that. It's over. You're going to get, someone's going to fucking punch you in the fucking face. The shit's done. The event's over. I wanted to do other things. I didn't want to further your reputation or your career by rapping back at you and having this exchange. And that was it for me.
And Drake texts you and like, am I letting you down?
Yeah, what did I tell you?
What did you say to him?
You said that I can never let you down.
I said, listen, as a hip hop historian who loves hip hop, I would love for you to respond.
Of course, we want to hear it.
I did, by the way.
You're the greatest.
By the way, I did.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
You wrote the song.
I did, and I said terrible things.
Yeah, I said I want you to every time respond. Every time I said selfishly in all caps.
Yeah, you're selfish. Yeah.
I said,
because you want to hear it.
I want you to know one thing. We're family. You're a brother of mine. You could never ever let me down, ever. And I left it at that. Left it right at that.
And you wrote the song and never put it out.
Yeah, because I got home and I just listened back to it and I was like, man, this is not something I ever want to be remembered for. This is not even a place that I necessarily want to go. And to all the people who enjoy that, I tip my hat to you. By the way, hell of a chess move. The song, I thought it was trash, but the chess move was genius. Back against the wall, I either go all the way filthy or I fall back and I have this sort of chink in my armor for the rest of time to a rap purist, which is fine. I can live with that. You know, I would much rather live with that than the things that I was about to, the research I did, the things that I was going to say and the places that I was going to go, not only for him, but the other guy too, you know? And now I feel pure. I'm good.
You feel good.
You know? Yeah. And you know what I did? I took that energy, just like you said, I took that energy and I put it into me, not you. You don't get that.
You told me you didn't have certain songs on Scorpion until that.
I didn't have In My Feelings. I didn't have Nonstop. I didn't have.
What's one of our favorite songs, Mavi? Now,
sick of these niggas.
Oh my God!
I didn't have Mob Ties.
I'm sick of
these niggas.
I'll hide some help.
Yeah.
Get rid of these niggas.
Let's do it. It's a wrap, baby.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Yes,
Thank you. It's a wrap.
Catch that bird.
Yes, sir. Listen, I'm at a point in my life with hair that I can't fuck around. One bad cut, bitches, to the body.
Yeah,
one bad cut is to the body. I ain't got no more fucking around.